So here's the thing, and I want you to really hear it. You're already doing this. You're already intuitive, already receiving impressions, nudges, gut feelings, whispers, visions, dreams that don't make sense at first, but meant everything later. And even if you've doubted it, even if you've dismissed it, even if you're chalking it up to coincidence or imagination, or calling it just a feeling, I'm here to tell you that those moments were not random, not wrong, not meaningless. They were evidence that your soul is tuned in, that your inner signal is working, and together we're going to learn how to hear it clearly, how to trust it fully, how to speak it confidently, because psychic development isn't about being chosen or gifted, it's about being willing to listen, learning the language of your own knowing, working with what you get, not what you wish you had. And that means sometimes it feels messy, inconsistent, unclear. Sometimes it'll come through in symbols that make no sense, or a whisper that fades the moment you try to grab it. And that's okay, that's where the real growth happens. In the awkward silence, in the strange images, in the wait, what does the pineapple mean moment. And when you stay present with those instead of shutting down, when you describe instead of interpret, when you speak instead of second guessing, you build trust with spirit, with yourself, with the process. And trust is everything, because confidence doesn't come from being right. It comes from choosing to show up again and again, even when you're not sure, even when your heart races and your ego screams and your brain tells you you're making it all up. You show up anyway, and that is how the channel clears. That is how the intuition strengthens and how you become a clearer, bolder, softer, truer vessel of truth. By practicing without perfection, honoring the hit even when it doesn't land, by knowing that sometimes the message is meant for later, or meant for you, or meant to stretch the boundaries of how you receive. And when that happens, when you stop trying to force it and start letting it move through you, you'll see how spirit doesn't always speak in words, but in textures, images, feelings, metaphor. A red balloon floating into view, a sudden ache in your ribs, a flash of your grandmother's perfume. All of it is sacred, all of it is information. All of it is something, and you don't have to explain it, you just have to say it. Because spirit speaks in puzzle pieces, and your job is to deliver them, not solve them. And if it doesn't make sense right away, trust that it will. Trust that your sitter will connect with it, or your journal will reveal it later, or that you were simply meant to stretch in the saying of it. Maybe that's the deeper lesson. That this isn't about proving your worth or performing magic tricks, or always being on. It's about surrender. It's about letting the ego step aside and letting the message come through, being humble enough to get it wrong and brave enough to keep going. And in the space between the noise and the knowing, you will find your voice, your way, your rhythm. And you will realize you were never disconnected, only distracted. You were never unworthy, only untrained. You were never blocked, just busy. And once you slow down, breathe, sit in that quiet invitation and say, I'm here, I'm listening, I trust. Something opens, something starts to flow. And it's yours. You'll begin to notice that spirit teaches you in real time, in everyday moments, in dreams, and in silence, in symbols on license plates, snippets of overheard conversations, and in the way your body reacts to someone's name, a room. You'll be guided not just in readings, but in life, and your work will become less about performing and more about partnering with your intuition, with the divine, with the present moment. And through it all, you'll learn that you're never alone in this work, never unsupported, never abandoned, because the unseen world is always nudging, whispering, aligning, inviting you to hear more, feel more, trust more. And this journey you're on, it's not about becoming psychic. You already are. It's about becoming you, the real you, the clear you, the grounded, radiant, inner knowing you who doesn't need a loud sign to believe, who doesn't wait for certainty to act, who moves when spirit says move and listens when spirit says quiet. And the more you trust that, the more the evidence starts stacking up, and you begin to realize that your entire life is a conversation with the universe, and your intuition is not a special occasion gift, but a daily companion. And it's not about hearing voices or seeing spirits or predicting the future. It's about walking in presence, tuning into the channel that's always been there underneath the noise. And now you've tuned in, and now you've felt it, and now you know. You don't have to wait. You don't have to force. You don't have to chase it. You are it. You are the vessel. You are the message and the messenger. And this right there And this right here, this trust you're building, this path you're walking, it's the real work. Humanfluence, out.